Bit of a later start this morning. It's 20 minutes to 7. There's no hurry. The next camp is only 16 kilometres away, Torbay. We'll be hugging the coastline pretty much all day. Again, had the hut to ourselves. Nice location actually. We went up last night, had a look at the sun. Well, not quite setting. Once again, we were in our respective sleeping bags before sunset. We certainly aren't teenagers, are we? But no, it should be a pretty casual day today. There'll be a little bit of work on the dunes, but not a lot. So we decided that we'd just take things a little bit easier this morning. There was no need to jump out of the sleeping bag and pack up ahead of a long day. So we're on our way. Weather overcast again, probably about the same as it was yesterday. It's got a hint of threatening some drizzle or some light rain. Yesterday it looked the same, and we didn't get any until just after we got into camp. Hopefully that'll be the case again today. Once again, the track today is incredibly thin. So Jude has to, again, just sort of utilise one pole and have the other one sticking up in the air. It's such a narrow track. In places it's like a bit of a little drainage tunnel. It's so thin and built up by 30-40 centimetres left and right. So not ideal walking. A lot of the times in various places you're getting scratched on the legs by shrubs that are protruding over the edge of the track. A lot of the area we're walking through today was actually devastated back in 2016 by a raging bushfire. And as you can see, a lot of the peppermint trees have been burnt off as a result. 6 years ago that fire ravaged this area. We're on the descent now, 200 steps. We've been told there are some benches down along the way. There's the first one of them. We're heading down into the valley, which we then climb out of. But nice to see they put some rest spots. Probably not so much for us going down, but for those that have been wandering up. That's the turn, but we've still got a distance to go. 42 kilometres of walking in a straight line to Albany from here. A hell of a lot less. We've got about 5 k's remaining to Torbay, our campsite tonight. And tomorrow we go to Sandpatch, walking through the Muttenberg campsite, so double hutting. And then from Sandpatch the day after tomorrow, it's a very cruisy, about 13 kilometres into Albany, where we reach the southern terminus, we go to the Tourist Bureau and we ring that bell to say that we've completed our Bibbulmun Track end to end. Once again, when you come over granite outcrops, any rocky outcrops where they can't really put a post in, that's what happens. They build a pile of rocks. So you navigate from one pile to the other in a straight line, and that is the Bibbulmun Track. About 350 metres now out from the Torbay Hut. Gets its name from Torbay Inlet, which is on our agenda tomorrow. We need to keep our eye out because apparently we've heard from a couple of people that there is a group of friendly little quenders, or a type of small bandicoot that can get quite playful right around the hut. So we'll keep an eye out for them when we get there. And apparently about 50 metres from the hut at the picnic table at night, you can actually see the glow of the lights of the city of Albany, and you can also get a pretty good view of the wind turbines, the Grasmere windmills, which are there for electricity creation. We were able to see them for the first time on our journey back a few kilometres when we stopped at a bench at the top of a hill. So on our way into Torbay now, we're actually walking again on some material, rubber material that's been put down in regard to preventing erosion here on the edge of the cliff. But not too far away now from being able to put our feet up. Plenty of wildflowers today, Judith.
That was an absolutely stunning walk from West Cape Howe to Torbay. just the coastal plains, the ocean, but also the Melaleuca forests and the she oaks. Just, I wasn't expecting that, and that was just an added bonus to me. Beautiful, absolutely beautiful.
In a little while we'll venture back at the intersection and head up and have a look at that bench that has the view over to the wind turbines. But for now, we're just going to take the pack off and have a bit of a rest. Two things you can do when you get to your hut, with the exception of getting organised for the night and getting something to eat and drink. The first one's really pretty much compulsory. It's filling out the trail logbook. So everybody needs to do that. We have done it on the bottom line just there, Glenn M and Jude W. But this is really a way for the authorities to actually know who is out on the track. If there's a bushfire or something like that, they know that you've been at one hut but you haven't reached the next one. And it's also a way too for the Bib administrators, the Bib Foundation, to have an idea of what's actually happening on the track. So pretty important that you fill out the trail logbook. The other one, each campsite has a red book. And in the red book, well, if you've got some time to spare, you can write things, you can draw things, and some people actually go to great trouble to write very, very long stories of what's happened to them during the day or random thoughts. So a couple of ways of being able to fill your time in. But as I said, one needs to be filled in. The other, I think Jude did it one day when I wasn't with her at Giant. She wrote something. But other than that, most people, it's optional. But if you're out on the trail, make sure that the trail logbook is something you fill out, the green one, at each time you get to a hut. About to turn in for the night. In fact, Judith is already ensconced in her tent. We're getting worse and worse. It's only about 5:30. There's still some sun up. Speaking of sun, walked all the day, as we mentioned before, without seeing one snake. And then Jude made dinner, and I thought I'm going to go up and just eat it in the sunshine, the dying sunlight up the top of the lookout. And what should I see when I turn around up there? A very significant and large tiger snake that was rolled up in the late afternoon sun. So I got some nice vision of him before he slithered away into wherever he's going to be spending the night. Time now for me to go to bed, do a bit of reading, and look forward to an early alarm tomorrow morning.
Night, night.
Beautiful sunrise this morning here at Torbay, which we could see from near the picnic table about 50 metres away from the shelter. Didn't see any quendas though. We kept an eye out both at dawn and dusk, but nothing. We did hear a real scramble, animal-wise, come through after dark, probably a kangaroo. We were both in our sleeping bags at that stage, but unfortunately no quendas. Today though, 24 kilometres, so we're making a reasonably early start. It's just after 5:45. The sky today, not as threatening as it has been in recent days. There's some blue around and some light cloud, but no pack covers on the back of the backpacks today. So 24 k's today to Sandpatch, our penultimate day on the Bibbulmun Track. At about the 8 kilometre mark, we come across Torbay Inlet, but we've seen vision on Facebook, some photos in the last 48 hours, which indicate that it is completely closed. So the boots will be staying on, the feet won't be getting wet. So that will expedite our journey today. The thing that remains to be seen is we don't actually know at the moment how soft the sand is going to be. We've got about 7 k's either side of the inlet today on the beach. So we'll wait with great anticipation to see whether it's going to be hard like the bulk of Mazzoletti Beach was when we walked that near Parry Inlet a couple of days ago. Anyway, we're on the track, looking forward to a smooth transition from Torbay to Sandpatch via Muttonbird. We're double hutting today. see from Jude's footsteps, the sand is nice and hard this morning. Tide's coming in, but it's not high tide till just before midday. Fairly pleasant walking at the moment, no doubt about that. Whether that remains to be the case for our entirety on the beach, time alone will tell. Personal milestone. 4.5 kilometres into the penultimate day of our Bibbulmun Track adventure, and with fire diversions and the likes, I have now reached 1,000 kilometres. Something I could never have dreamt of, wouldn't have believed, would have laughed at you 18 months ago. But here we go, 1,000 kilometres with the backpack on, through varied terrain, and at the moment that terrain is a sandy beach. Somewhat of an anticlimax, as we knew Torbay Inlet here was closed, but it's remarkable how quickly it's happened. You see there's a gap probably of about 70 metres between the ocean and the inlet. And there was another lady, Jude, that we met probably only about a week, 8 days ago. When she came through here, it was ankle to half shin height. And yet here we are now, less than a fortnight later, completely closed off again. No sand dune off this beach, but quite a number of stairs. But at the top there is a little lookout where we're going to stop for our morning tea, comprising a cup of tea and peanut butter and crackers. But that was a pretty easy walk along the beach today. The inlet closed, the sand firm. It's one of the easiest beach walks we've had, especially over that sort of distance. A nice way to start the day. Safe to say neither of us have got any interest in actually entering that area. I think we'll just stick to the outside of the perimeter fence. Mind you, on a Tuesday, maybe there's no one out there honing their skills. One of the great things about the benches in the last couple of days in this part of the track is they're two-tiered. So you can actually sit on the front part and the back part takes the weight of your backpack. We're not stopping at this one because we're inside a cave from being at Muttonbird. We did actually decide against our morning tea back when we climbed the steps off the beach, mainly because it was very windy up there and exposed and it had no seats. So we've delayed it until we get to Muttonbird, which isn't too far away, and from here it's pretty much cruising downhill to that campsite. So this is the second last hut heading north to south. is only tonight's destination, Sandpatch. So numerically, dear old Muttonbird, the 48th of 49 huts heading down to Albany. About 13 kilometres remaining to Sandpatch now. As you can see, Jude has put on her pack cover, so have I, just while we're in the hut. There is forecast chance of rain. It does look like it's building up a little bit. Interestingly, now, I don't know if it's to do with the fact that the finish line is very close, but today, bodily, my battery feels very low, legs in particular. And Judith, if you want to stop for a second, you're saying even you're like your knees and not quite at peak.
I think it's just that anticipation, and like you want to get to the end, so you need to look after your body because you're so close.
Yeah.
So close.
Very close. I've only got one hut to stay in, and as I said, it's about 13 k's away. Hopefully we will get there before the heavens decide to drop some water. One of the wind turbines there, part of the Grassmere project on the outskirts of Albany. Wind turbines. Not too sure how many of them are along here actually. Probably 15, 18, thereabouts I think. Just glancing down the line before. Not an overly windy day today, but a part of the world of course where there would always be some wind down here on the southern coast of WA. You can see why they put them here. Not too sure how many other wind farms there are in WA either. A lot of homework for me to do when I get home. Oh, the large dugite right in the middle of the track for about 10 minutes. It's overcast, not very hot, and he just didn't want to move. Could have been she, but in the end we just had to throw something near it because back where we were it was very heavy vegetation either side of the track, but it was just slumbering, had no intent of getting out of the way when we came round the corner. So rather than having to get our Helinox chairs out and wait for half an hour, we decided just to give it a little bit of a harmless hurry up. Sandpatch 2.5 kilometres, Albany 14. And we're going to be stopping at Sandpatch tonight. We could go on if we wanted to, but we want to have a leisurely arrival tomorrow morning. If we went through now, Tourist Bureau would probably be closed, and we couldn't have the honour of ringing the bell, the end-to-end bell on the day we finish. We'd need to do it the next day. So we're going to head off tomorrow morning and be in Albany before midday for a celebration and a ring of the bell. Here we are, Sandpatch Hut. The last time we'll unfurl our sleeping bag. Once again, the area directly behind me has been cleared for an emergency helicopter landing area. Hopefully that's not going to be required. Yes, when you head north to south, this is the 49th and final hut on the track. And as I said, the last time tonight that we will unfurl the sleeping bags. This is a very, very modern hut. Not too sure when this has been built, but brick paving, very shiny floor, a nice step up, which isn't always the case. No doubt this will be Jude's side over here, as where she'll erect her tent. But this is quite swish. Just trying to shelter from the wind here around the corner of this hut. It's, well, not quite a gale, pardon me, but the direction that they built this hut in, I'm not sure if this is where the prevailing wind comes from. But if it does, I think they put it in the wrong direction. Anyway, Jude's ensconced in her little tent already, and I'm about to turn in very shortly. No alarm tomorrow morning. We've only got about 13 k's to go to amble into Albany Central and to ring the bell at the tourist centre to denote that we have completed an end-to-end of the Bibbulmun Track north to south. It's going to be a little bit strange, I guess, getting up in the morning and putting on the backpack for the last time. We've had our last meal out on the hike, or at least last dinner. We've also put our sleeping bags out, and tomorrow morning we're going to pack them for the last time. So yeah, there's going to be some mixed emotions tomorrow, I think, when we get up, and probably some different thoughts as we make our way along the trail into the heart of Albany. It's going to be something special to go into the visitor centre and sign the book there, having actually completed the entire walk from Kalamunda. But for now, it's time to say good night from Sandpatch. Tomorrow is another day, and it's going to be a very special one out here on the Bibbulmun Track.